Mei Mei's final bow. Why China's rising stars walking away from the spotlight. I didn't come here to burn out while people clapped. Mei Mei at the Global Creators Forum, Beijing. A Q&A session with online bloggers. A photo op with fans. Another red carpet panel at the Global Creators Forum in Beijing. But Mei Mei, China's luminous and fiercely private screen star, stunned the nation and the entertainment world by publicly announcing she is stepping away from acting indefinitely, and not in a vague, taking time to reflect sort of way, but in a definitive, soul-bearing declaration that left the auditorium in stunned silence. And then, a standing ovation. This wasn't a scandal. This wasn't burnout. This was a wake-up call. Who is Mei Mei? If you followed Chinese entertainment over the last 5 years, you know her name. Mei Mei, now 29, burst onto the scene in 2020 with her breakout indie drama, The Hidden Thread, portraying a textile worker-turned-poet who overcame class prejudice and grief. The role earned her a Best Actress nomination at the Golden Phoenix Awards and won over audiences with her raw, almost haunting vulnerability. What followed was a career on fire. The blockbuster hit Echoes in the Valley, the psychological thriller Into the Mirror, her role as a blind pianist in White Keys, which earned her international acclaim, and most recently, her intense turn in the controversial war film Wounded Snow. She was known not just for her talent, but her refusal to play into celebrity games. No fake dating rumors, no club scandals, no reality TV. She did the work and left quietly. Until now, the announcement that shocked everyone. The scene, Beijing Exhibition Center, August 1st. A Q&A session hosted by 2 popular culture bloggers, attended by an intimate group of creatives, producers, and fans. Mei Mei, dressed in an oversized navy sweater and jeans, was asked a routine question. What's your next project after Wounded Snow? She took a long pause, then exhaled. There isn't one, she said, because I'm done. Silence. The host blinked. I'm stepping away. I'm not retiring forever, but I won't be acting for a long time. I've been waiting for a moment like this to tell the truth, and maybe this is it. She leaned forward, elbows on the table. I'm not tired of the craft. I'm tired of the industry that's killing it. Backslash. What followed was a 30-minute, brutally honest dialogue where Mei Mei dismantled the fantasy of stardom. No filters. No pre-approved PR statements. Just the raw truth. People think acting is magic, that you cry on screen and go home smiling. But it's not like that. I've been emotionally raw for so long, I forgot what calm feels like. She described nights where she'd finish filming a grief scene, then lie on her hotel bathroom floor at 3 a.m., unable to sleep because the pain didn't leave with the cameras. I gave everything I had to characters who lived in pain, and no one asked me if I was okay. She criticized production schedules that demanded 18-hour days with no mental health breaks. I lost weight. I lost my period. I lost the ability to tell whether I was acting or surviving. Mei Mei revealed shocking behind-the-scenes pressures, including image control, body shaming from sponsors, and being forced to act in scenes she found morally uncomfortable. They told me I had to be perfectly broken, that I had to look fragile but flawless. I cried in makeup trailers because my body wasn't made for that fantasy. One blogger asked if she felt exploited. She didn't hesitate. Absolutely. You don't know what it's like until you're in it. It's a beautiful golden cage. Her final film, Wounded Snow, was also her most physically and emotionally demanding. Shot in extreme temperatures in the mountains of Sichuan, Mei Mei portrayed a soldier who suffers unspeakable trauma. There's a scene where I'm crawling through a frozen river after a bombing. That wasn't fake. I was freezing. My skin turned blue. They kept filming. The director insisted on using real explosives. Mei Mei refused twice, then was told she'd be replaced if she didn't comply. That night, I called my mother and said, I don't want to do this anymore. She told me, then don't. No one owns you. That was the moment her exit began. The intimate setting of the Global Creators Forum allowed Mei Mei to speak with rare freedom. The attendees, some in tears, thanked her for her courage. One young actress from Guangzhou stood up and asked, How do you walk away from something the world tells you is a dream? Mei Mei's response? Because when the dream becomes a nightmare, you owe it to yourself to wake up. And because my dream was never be famous. My dream was to create. I can do that without destroying myself. Perhaps most groundbreaking was Mei Mei's open conversation about mental health. We glamorize suffering in this business. She's so committed, she cried for 6 hours. No, that's not commitment. That's a cry for help. She admitted to suffering panic attacks before press junkets, hiding anxiety behind eyeliner and designer gowns. I almost quit twice before, but I stayed because everyone kept saying, "This is your moment." What they didn't see was me vomiting backstage from nerves before accepting an award. Despite the criticism of the system, Mei Mei was careful not to alienate her fans. In fact, she grew emotional as she thanked them. "You saw me, not just a rose. You wrote letters that said, 'Thank you for showing grief honestly. You made me feel understood. You reminded me why I started.'" She smiled through tears as a fan approached her after the panel and gave her a handmade notebook filled with fan art and letters. "I'll never forget you," she whispered. No, she's not disappearing into a mansion with paparazzi-proof gates. Mei Mei says she'll be living quietly in a rural village outside Hangzhou, where she plans to write, garden, and eventually direct her own short film on how stillness heals. "I want to make a story where no one has to cry for applause, where silence is the climax." She has already enrolled in an online program for therapeutic arts and plans to host workshops for young actors on emotional boundaries and creative safety. "No one taught me how to say no in this business. I want to teach others how to." A quiet exit, a loud impact. In a time when stars often go out with scandal, young Mei Mei is going out with grace, fire, and a message that might just change how an entire generation of performers sees themselves. She isn't leaving because she's bitter. She's leaving because she's brave. This isn't goodbye. It's hello, to the part of me I buried under everyone else's expectations. A final scene only for herself. Before leaving the auditorium, Mei Mei paused at the exit, looked back at the silent crowd of creators, fans, and press, and said softly, "I may be stepping out of the camera's view, but don't worry, I'm still here, and I'm finally free." The shock of young Mei Mei's exit from the entertainment world is still rippling through the industry like aftershocks from an emotional earthquake. But as the dust settles, the real story isn't just that she walked away. It's why. And the more you dig, the more you realize this was never a breakdown. It was a breakthrough. The Global Creators Forum Q&A wasn't even being live-streamed when it happened. It was meant to be a closed session, no press, no scandal-hungry cameras. Just a circle of creators and thinkers sharing ideas. And then Mei Mei said the words that rewrote everything. "I'm stepping away. Not because I can't keep going, but because I finally love myself enough to stop." The room, filled with influencers and mid-tier executives who live on instant image and digital validation, went dead silent. Then someone clapped. 1, then 10. Then the whole room stood. Because deep down, they knew she was right. What many didn't know was that Mei Mei had been fighting a silent battle long before she ever said goodbye. On the set of Wounded Snow, a now notorious incident occurred during filming. One insider revealed that a crew member collapsed from exhaustion during an overnight shoot, and instead of halting production, the director ordered the next scene be shot over the body. For realism. Mei Mei lost it. She screamed, threw her script down, told everyone, if this is realism, it's not art. It's abuse. That footage never made it to the press. Until now, insiders say it was the first time they saw her truly break. Not in character, but as a woman refusing to let cruelty hide behind the excuse of cinema. In the weeks following her announcement, new details emerged about the studio pressure Mei Mei faced. According to a close colleague, she was offered a massive franchise deal worth over 80 million yuan, but a lead producer hinted that accepting the role came with a level of cooperation beyond the script. Mei Mei walked out of the meeting. No agents, no fuss, just a firm no. She said, "If my talent isn't enough, then I'm not the actress you're looking for." That moment cost her 5 years of career security, but it won her dignity no one can price. Mei Mei's words at the forum exposed the paradox of modern stardom. You're constantly surrounded by people, yet no one really sees you. They see a walking brand, a commodity. They dress you, filter you, profit from you, and then complain when you look tired. She described once attending an award ceremony while enduring an undiagnosed panic disorder, smiling for photographers between backstage meltdowns. One time, a sponsor threatened to cut ties if she didn't lose the bloated look before their launch campaign. They were talking about my face, my body, like it was a rental car that came back scratched. She lost 6 kilograms in 2 weeks. Young Mei Mei refuses to be painted as a tragic artist. Don't cry for me. I'm not broken. I'm not weak. I'm just not willing to burn anymore to keep other people warm. And her courage is starting to spark something dangerous and beautiful. Since her speech, multiple rising actresses have quietly backed out of unsafe shoots, citing emotional wellness boundaries. An anonymous production assistant from one of Mei Mei's past sets said, "She used to check on us, not just ask about lines or lighting, but us. Once, she noticed I hadn't eaten and snuck a meal box to my station with a note. 'They see you, but I see you.' I still keep that note." Perhaps the most emotional scene came later offstage, when a young blogger caught Mei Mei alone in the forum lounge. She had removed her makeup, changed into a hoodie, and was drinking warm soy milk. The girl asked, "Don't you miss the girl who dreamed of being here?" Mei Mei smiled sadly. "I remember her. The girl who watched movies on a cracked phone under her blankets. The one who thought making it meant people would finally listen to her voice." Then she added with quiet steel, "I just never knew they'd only listen if my heartbreak made the money." So where's young Mei Mei now? Gone is the city apartment with mirror closets and soundproof walls. She now lives in a small cottage near Hangzhou's Westlake. Locals say they've seen her biking to the farmer's market or sitting at a cafe reading poetry. She's even started writing again, journals, personal essays, and reportedly a screenplay titled The Sound Between Scenes. Not about Hollywood, but about healing. One neighbor said, "She always says good morning, smiles like someone who knows what pain costs, but also what freedom feels like." In a recent follow-up interview via email, Mei Mei clarified, "I don't need to be remembered as the actress who cried well. I want to be remembered as the woman who finally cried for herself and not for a scene." The line has gone viral on Chinese social media, and a movement is growing where creatives share one thing they were too afraid to say in toxic work environments. Some posts are funny, others are heartbreaking, but all of them are inspired by one truth. Young Mei Mei gave permission to feel, to say no, to stop pretending. When asked if she would ever act again, she didn't close the door completely. Maybe one day, when the industry learns that art doesn't require suffering, that real beauty doesn't come from bruises. Until then, I'll be right here, watching the world remember how to breathe again. Young Mei Mei didn't just walk away.